and welcome aboard to yep, got you, Rachel. Sorry, welcome aboard to today's this afternoon's conference, this afternoon's webinar called Peer Conferencing with Acrobat. This is one of my favorite areas for using Acrobat. Such a powerful tool for feedback. And today, Rachelle Wooten, who is a digital learning specialist in Texas, will be helping us through and giving us some great strategies for using Acrobat for more than just freezing PDF, more than just freezing a Word or a PowerPoint. It's a really, really handy tool. So I'm going to hand over to Rachel. Rachel, I'm going to pull up that poll for you. So if you just start chatting, I'm going to appear on this page. Oh, everyone, if you have any questions for Rachelle, could you please pop them up in this top area, and we will answer them at the end of the session. So over to you, Rachelle.
All right. Good afternoon. Like Pip said, it's afternoon where I am. Matter of fact, it's almost evening. I'm in Texas, so it's 5 o'clock here. But I do want to thank you again for chiming in and joining us in this webinar. This one will be featuring the peer conferencing with Acrobat. But before I begin, I did want to ask a question. I see some of you have responded to the previous poll, but I wanted to ask basically on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you or how would you rate your level of experience with the commenting features in Acrobat?
I'll answer that just in the bottom. So just pop a number next to, type a number for us between 1 and 5 to give us an idea of where you're at with that.
Of course, I'm sorry, I probably should have explained too that 1 meaning I don't know much at all, and 5 being I got this. All right, that's great. So we have some who have heard about it. You know that they're there, you're familiar with them, but you don't really use them. And that's one of the ways I really do my best to approach professional development. I think it's one thing to have a feature, but it's another way to explain maybe how you can use that particular feature in your learning environment. And so that's how, I arrived at this particular topic here on peer conferencing with Acrobat. So we'll be spending time exploring those from the perspective of wow, how could students use this together? Okay, so thank you all for responding to that. And I'll go ahead and get started with the presentation over here. So again, this is Peer Conferencing with Acrobat. And this is our driving question for today's session is how can students use Acrobat for peer conferencing, peer review, or peer evaluations, however you want to approach that topic. So as we move along, I hope you'll get some ideas and a little inspiration on how you can do that. These are our session objectives. I'm so sorry. Those are not our session objectives. These are the ones from earlier this morning. But basically, what we're going to look at are the peer conferencing, the commenting tools in Acrobat. So I'll just go ahead and get off of that. Did I update the other one? There we go. But basically, our objectives for this one are to look at the different annotation tools and see what all we can mark up, explore the comments list and some of the features we can do that, and then some of the options that we have in Acrobat 11 for actually sharing those. Won't be able to spend probably too much time on that particular one, but I'll give you a general overview so you'll then know how you can take away those concepts or those features and use them in your classroom. So basically, I always like to tackle the why. I think in any good professional development, you want to know why you should be considering something. And so since we're talking about peer conferencing or peer review, I wanted to kind of look at why that's important that students begin to engage in that kind of activity. Well, one is the collaboration piece. It gives students a wonderful opportunity to learn from each other, to give feedback to one another, and to see other student work. Two, because they're giving feedback, usually about something that they also have learned about, they're having to do a lot of critical thinking, and they're at that higher level of blooms, by evaluating and analyzing the work and being able to apply that in this situation. And then last but not least, communication. With the variety of tools, there are so many different ways that you can actually comment and give that feedback to your students. And so when we look at that in a nutshell, those are part of our 21st century skills. So these are all things that we want our students to be able to learn. I do want to go ahead and kind of preface this with I am fully aware of other collaborative tools out there that are available. So if you're like an Office 365 school, I'm sure you may be using things like that. Or if you're a Google Apps for Education school, you might be using that. Right now, we do not have either one of those platforms. So Acrobat has become a very valuable resource for us. And I'll show you kind of why in a near the end when I'm talking about the different ways you can actually share that review. So I'll go ahead and pull up a document. Now I'm going to come from the perspective, so I need to share my screen now. There we go. I'm going to come from the perspective of writing instruction. That's my area of expertise. And so that's where I'll come. But the beauty of it being in a PDF version when you can bring things over to Acrobat is that you can embed video. You know, you can add images and put those in a document as well and save them as a PDF. So whether your students have created artwork, photography, videos, all of those once placed in a document and saved as a PDF become um, a product where students can review and give feedback to one another. So here's a writing assignment from one of the middle school students at in our district. And so this one is basically an essay. So first I want to just kind of do a quick overview here. We know that there are the tools here, the tools panel here, but we're going to focus most of our attention right here on the comment pane. So that's going to be our friend for the next 20 minutes or so. So first we're going to start with the annotations tools. And like I said, I kind of want to go back a little bit. We did have some ones. So since many of you were not familiar with the commenting features, I do want to go over a few basic things right here up front. And one of them is the sticky note. And the great thing about the sticky note is that you can just place that anywhere on a document. And so maybe I'll just put it right here by the title. And it puts the icon over here. And over here, I can begin typing my note. I really like the title you have chosen here. It really covers your topic. And when I'm ready and I'm done with that, I can simply click off of it. But I wanted to show you some other features. As you hover over this sticky note, you'll see that note right there. But I also want to show you that you don't have to keep it looking this way. There are some preferences for that sticky note. If you click right here in the drop-down menu, right next to the sticky note icon, and come down to Properties. Here you can change the color of that sticky note. Let's see, that school's color is more orange and blue, so maybe I want to go with an orange look. And because it was something that they did really well, maybe I want to give that a different icon. I want to put the check mark there, and then I can click OK. And so now when they hover over that check mark, they're able to see that note and that comment. Of course, at any time, if you do not like or you do not want to keep that sticky note, you can right click on the icon here and you can choose delete. But I'm going to keep it there because I like it. Alrighty, so that's our sticky note. You also have the option to highlight text. And that's basically by coming over here, once you've selected it in your annotations panel there, you select the text and it just highlights it. So it's pretty much exactly what it says it does. And so we have the text where we can insert a text comment. This is your best paper yet. But I have other features over here as well. So I can change the font size if I like. I can change the style. So you have other options. I'm going to leave it just like that. But this has to be one of my favorite ones here. I'm going to jump this one for a minute and go to the audio commenting tool. With that one, you can actually embed an audio comment. And so once you click on the space where you want to add that audio comment, you just come right over here, click on the red circle to begin your recording. Victoria, you did a really good job on this paper. It was very well organized and it was easy to follow. You used lots of descriptive terminology. You really did a great job. I'm going to leave that one the same. Those colors are good. And notice the blue icon is here. And it gives me the little, um, the, the, the size of that sound clip. And if I wanted to play it, I just simply double click on it I don't know if you all can hear that, but it's playing. Alrighty, we're done. I don't know if you all were able to hear that because I have a headset, but basically it just played the extent of that recording. And we've heard from students how much they appreciate and value actually the spoken word. So there is a lot of value being able to add those audio comments. So just imagine if another student is reviewing their work and they're able to give that positive feedback to the audio comments. So that's another feature. That's one of my favorites. And then, of course, we have the attachment tool. So let's say after reviewing that, a student wants to attach maybe the rubric because maybe there was a part of it that they felt like, you really forgot about this particular step, or what about this handout that she gave us? They can attach that here. When they click on that icon, come over here, click on the page, they can, look to find the file and then attach that there. But I'm just going to cancel. This is another one of my favorites, especially when you're looking at the writing process and students using this for peer reviews and writing essays, is the stamp feature. You can actually scroll down and kind of see some of the different stamps that they've already created, but you can even create custom stamps. We won't be spending time in that one today. But some of the dynamic ones that students can use as it relates to writing, of course, are it's been revised. There's one that says approved. There's also one I thought that said draft. I don't know where that one. There it is. And so there's the draft. This is the final. And all you have to do is kind of click on those and you just put it where you like. And so very easy to use those annotation features. These are all your text markup tools. So you're basically just inserting, striking through, underlining, and adding other notes to text. So you could click on those easy, just to insert text as a cursor here. What if they told us? And so it would basically recognize that there is an insertion of text that needs to be added right here. In all of these, this one is a note to replace some text. Of course, this is just a strike through. We don't need it at all. This underlines it. I told you about the note one, but the cool thing is that you also have this text correction markup tool. And what I like about that is once you click on it, it gives you a brief overview into how you can, what different features you have. So just like we saw these different text markup tools, they're easily available here. And so that when you're in a document, let's say I decided to add here, okay. And then if I come here in the document and I just start inserting text, it's already knowing to do the insertion feature here. If I wanted to delete this, it's going to automatically do a strike through. So that text correction markup tool kind of makes it very easy. And if you think your students would rather an approach like that, then that might be a great way for them to look at editing, reviewing documents where they're going to have to delete some things. That may be an easier way to do that. Under the annotations, we also have the drawing markups. So, you could create an actual text box. And sometimes the beauty of this is that it does draw a lot of attention to it because it is bright red, you know. Um, Work on the fragments and run-ons, and you will be ready. So you can add that. You can also select certain things that you want to call out with this particular tool, where you can say, I didn't really understand this part. And then that way it kind of points to an area in the essay, or it could be on the image or video. I say video, but on the text that they're writing or on the image, and you can just add those there. So lots of great features there. Now, one of the things I do want to draw your attention to is I've placed the video at the bottom. I've just kind of embedded it right here in this video. It is in no way related to the topic of this essay, but I wanted to demonstrate for you how nice I think it is that you can actually review and comment on video. So I'm going to go ahead And let's see, we want to get a little sticky note going here. Well, let's play some of it first. This is a paper slide video. I don't know how many of you have explored those. It's a great way for students to create videos in short, quick ways. They also call them quick edit videos. So I'm going to try to get a sticky note right now, place it right here, and say, I really like the symbolism with the feet. What you'll notice here is not only does it give me the sticky note icon, but it also gives me the playtime, where we are in that video with as a marker here in the sticky note. So then when I'm done, I can continue and keep going. Okay. So I wanted to make sure we looked at how you can actually review and comment on video. So I looked at audio commenting. Now we've looked at the drawing markup tools. Let's look at, now that I've made a few comments here, let's draw our attention to the comments list. This is very important. There are lots of things we can do with this particular feature here. So basically, you see every comment or addition or insertion that has been made in this paper. The moment I make it, it populates right over here in the comments list. And what I like about the comments is that you can kind of view and sort them right here. So maybe I want to look at all the ones, by a certain author or by a certain page. Of course, this would only apply if there's a longer paper and things like that, or by a certain date. So if students were collaborating over a period of time, that might be helpful. I can also, if you notice here, get this, there is a search field, so I can search for the comments. If I wanted to search for the ones that deal with fragments, then that's what shows up in the comments list. And then I can take my attention to the ones that deal with the fragments. Okay, so that's a really nice feature. I also wanted to show you how you can show and hide. You can also look at them by sticky note, by highlight, by file type, or by annotation type. Okay, so lots of options here in the comments list. Did I hide that? I didn't mean to. Got it. So those are all there. But one of the things that's actually new in Acrobat 11 is the ability to reply to comments. So let's assume now that I wasn't the one that made these annotations and these markups, but I'm now the recipient of it. So if I wanted to reply to, let's say, this one here where it says work on these fragments and run-ons, all I'm going to do is right-click on this comment. I'm sorry, hold on. Oh, great. Let me choose a different one right quick. Okay, so I guess it's recognizing that I am not indeed a reviewer. That is new to this one, but I thought I tried this just a while ago and it worked just fine. There it is. Look, now I get it. So when you right click on the comment over here in the comments list, you have the option to reply. So then the student can actually respond to that person's feedback, whether it was, okay, I fixed the fragments, thanks for catching that. They can also, like I said, expand all of the comments, but I think that that ability to reply right there, and let me see if we can actually see it. Yep. So you'll see how this is now allowing me to respond. Thanks for pointing that out. I fixed it. And then just click anywhere in that comment area. So then the actual student can respond to that other one that was reviewing their work and giving them the feedback. So I think we've talked about filtering and searching for comments. This is one of my favorite features. Is over here in your options menu here. When you click on that, you have a series of features at your disposal with the comments. You can undock your comment list. I'll show you that in a few minutes. You can print with a comment summary. We'll look at that. Some very advanced features are for those of you who'd like to import or export them as a data file. So if that's something that you're considering, feel free to explore that one. But with students, we just wouldn't go that route. You can also export it to Word. So that's another good option. But we're going to focus right here. I want to show you this feature. I thought this was really cool. The undock the comment list. And what that basically does is it gives you the freedom to kind of move that comments list around So if a student is wanting to go and make those changes, and let's say it is on multiple pages, they can actually move that around so that they can scroll through here and still get to those different comments. I thought that was really nice. So now I'm going to dock the comments list again and look at the next couple features I wanted to go over. Back in our options menu over here, I like the fact that we can create a content summary. And so this is usually how we like to use it with our students. The beauty of the content summary is first of all, it's going to give you some options on how you would like to create that content summary. You get to choose the layout. And so in this version here, the default, basically, it would give you the document and it would number each of the annotations. And then on a separate page, you would see what those mean. You can also go with the document and comments with connector lines on separate pages as they kind of give you a little a visual here. Or you can go with the connector lines all on single pages, or you can go with comments only. I'm going to go with this one here, document and comments with connector lines on single pages. And then I'm just going to come down here because I do want all comments, even the pages containing no comments. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Create Comment Summary. It's going to begin to do some work. Oh, did I do that? Didn't mean to do that. Let me go back and do that again. Let's go with this one. Okay, so now I'm going to make this a little larger, going to zoom in there. But notice here, all of the comments are now, they have connector lines and we can see exactly what feedback that student has contributed to that particular essay or article. And then again, because this is a PDF, it makes it very easy for our students then to share with the original owner of that paper. So let's talk about that now. I'm going to go ahead. No, I don't want to save that one. So these are some of the features that are really, really great for us in our district. Like I said, we are not on any of the collaborative sites. So we have this one. Okay, we'll save it right quick. And then we're going to go to send for email review. That's the name of it. Yes. Yes. So basically, our students have what we call Gaggle, which is filtered email. And so they would put each other's email address in here. I'll just go ahead and put one of mine in there. It gives a static or generic kind of email message here. If you wanted to change it, you could. I'm going to go ahead and send the invitation. And this is what I think is really, really cool. This next part coming up. So in previous versions, you've been able to use your default email application, but this is really, really nice that you can use webmail. For those of you who have, of course, Gmail accounts, that would be great, but we would choose Add Other. And then, of course, we would populate this information. We have that for our students, and they would basically put their email address and password here so that it would speak to that account, that Gaggle email account, and they would add that here. So then students will be able to use that tool. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. They'd be able to, in a new and different way, to kind of still communicate with each other, but still collaborating and giving each other the necessary feedback for those, for their essays or whatever the product is that they're evaluating. So I see it's about 5:25 here, so I'm going to go back to the room. I wanted to share. There we go. Alrighty, good. So now, Pip, can we pull up that
We've
PowerPoint? I
got a
think
couple of questions.
okay.
The PowerPoint? Yeah, absolutely. Heading
There was
back to the
one.
PowerPoint.
Okay, that sounds great. So I have one more slide, I think, after this. Yes. So some things to remember is making sure that you set up expectations and guidelines for how students will respond to other student work. I like to have teachers tell their students to give the positive, constructive feedback in the audio comments because there's something about hearing positive comments, in real audio or a person speaking that's very encouraging and maybe more motivating. Of course, communicate how they will share the reviewed work. Will it be through their Gaggle email accounts or whatever you use in your school district? And then Look at it as a way to promote creativity by having students maybe even add their own personal criterion. So if it's photography, maybe there's something that they create of their own, and then give them the opportunity to actually create a stamp of their own where they can use that particular um, feedback tool. Okay, so those are a couple of the tips. Let's tackle some of the questions here in these last 4 minutes.
Wonderful. So there's probably just about three here. What's the difference with extend, like the difference between the different pros? We also had a question around, can you do this on the regular PDF reader? So what's your thoughts with that, Rachelle?
Okay, the extend is actually new to me. I don't really know what that one is. Is that a version?
Yeah, maybe it's an old name then. Maybe
Okay,
Pro Extend has just changed to Pro now, so apologies for that. Yeah.
okay. Because we just have Acrobat 11 Pro in our district, so that's all I know is Acrobat 11 Pro. I didn't know there was another
No,
version.
there's not. I think
Okay.
there's been a name change along the way. Are they all styled okay for accessibility guidelines? I popped a link into the chat pod after that, but do you know anything around this area?
I don't because I don't really work in that department, but I do. I'm like you. I've gone to the Adobe site for a lot of that. Whenever our different administrative professionals come to me and ask that question, I send them a link in Adobe that does cover the accessibility guidelines.
Thank you. And no, it's not really a question, but you can do everything in one place, which is really, really good to know. What's your, just as a last question, your number one favorite impact in the classroom because of the use of Acrobat Pro? So what's the outcome for students by using this?
I think we've seen students who have, first of all, it's something about one having their work shared or reviewed, by a peer. So it gives them a different, but also an authentic audience with their work. So they become much more interested. But they enjoy the ability to use the different markup tools. It's amazing what even just drawing tools and, ooh, I can put a box and I can type this and add this, that they kind of get into the task a little bit more, probably not even thinking that they're editing and revising. And so I just found that kids tend to do much better because they know that a student is going to review their work. And even in that feedback that they're given, they take that advice pretty seriously because it's coming from one of their peers.
Exactly. One of my favorite things about comment and markup is that when we do this in, say, Word, for example, it's very, very easy for students to just accept all changes and just automatically say, yep, someone said that, whatever, I'll accept that. But when we're working through Acrobat or PDF format, we can actually then go back into our text and make the changes and reflect on those changes. So I think it's powerful in that way if we get students freezing their Word documents and sending them to each other to do feedback via PDF. So you're absolutely right with that, Rachelle. So I think we're at the end of today. So thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this session. Thank you very much to Rachelle for sharing her knowledge and exciting. I found some new things. I didn't know you could change the color of sticky notes. Like, that's heaven for me.
Yeah, I'm telling
Because
you.
you could have like ones that are about grammar, you might change them green. Some that are about concept, you might make blue. So you might make some sort of rules for how you're going to work with this in your classroom as well. So that's cool. So thank you, Rachelle, very much.
You're so welcome.
And thank you, everyone. Don't forget, we have in 2 weeks' time, we will be focusing on Premiere Pro, looking at how to make a show reel in Premiere Pro in the first session, and in the afternoon session, how to integrate Premiere Pro with After Effects. And I think perhaps there's a Photoshop thrown in there as well. So come and join us. There is also a session this time in a week on bringing innovation to schools. So please visit our professional development site on the Adobe Education Exchange and join in some more sessions. So thank you, everyone. Have a really, really great evening or morning or night or day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, hopefully. So thanks, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.